Hey everyone, it's Carrie over at DoubleClick. Welcome back to my craft room. Today I'm taking you along as we build some racks for my punches. This definitely did not go as I planned. I found some inspiration photos on Pinterest for people that had used curtain rods to hang their punches, and I thought this is a great idea. I have a really small section of wall next to my sliding door, and I want to move my punches that I had in a shoe rack and move them to this wall. My husband takes hanging things on the walls very seriously, so while he was measuring and anchoring in these curtain rods, I decided that I would start pulling out my punches, getting them cleaned and organized. I decided to move this table to right outside my craft room door, and I just went back and forth between the shoe rack and the table, dropping off the punches, and I was trying to do a quick sort while I was doing that. I also had a homemade item that I used to hold my punches. Unfortunately, I forgot to snap some photos of where I used to store them, but I do have an old craft room tour that I will link above. In that tour, I know that I show both spots of where I housed my punches. I sold about 70 to 100 punches before I moved into this house. Tried to only keep the ones that I thought that I might use. Over the last couple of years, I have picked up some new ones at thrift stores and garage sales. I do keep most of my holiday punches with those holidays. I do have a few exceptions. I do keep my Martha Stewart Halloween punches with my general punches. Those punches are not replaceable, so I don't want them squished in a box with the other supplies, so I do like to keep them out in the open to prevent anything from happening to them. Unfortunately, you will see in this video, the first punch to take a fall was my Martha Stewart Halloween punch. While I finish sorting and organizing my punches, I would just like to take a quick minute and say hello to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to my craft room. I have been crafting since 2009. I am definitely a craft supply hoarder. I enjoy thrifting and yard saling my supplies and purchasing supplies on clearance. I moved into a much smaller craft room a few years ago, and I have spent my time here trying to figure out how to fit all of my supplies into my little space. I have several craft room tours that I will link up above, and you can take a look at how I've managed to keep all of my hoarded supplies and how I have utilized all of my craft room space. Coming up in this video, things didn't go exactly as I planned, and I actually did cry once during the process. Let's finish sorting, organizing, and cleaning these punches, and then let me show you how funny things went during this process. Let's get ready for the first mishap. I set up my camera on the tripod and had no idea that the camera had been slowly slipping from its position. And this is where I lose my first punch. You're about to hear my scream as I realize that it's not going to work. And that was the first of many punches that fell off of those racks. I kept thinking to myself, this is going to work. I've seen the pictures. It makes sense. I can make this happen. We had done so much work and I didn't want to believe that this was not going to work. I am still on the fence on whether I like how it turned out. It definitely didn't turn out the way I thought it would, but it is doing the job. Take a listen to this little clip as almost all my punches drop to the ground. After hearing the punches fall, my daughter comes in to investigate to find out what's going on, followed by my husband, where he is trying to figure out if I am hanging the punches the proper way on the racks. And while we are having this conversation, guess what happens again?
Yeah, this assuming goes to fall. I like that.
So after losing several punches, I realized that I have to come up with a different solution. And that is to cut the shoe organizer that I was using on the other side of my craft room, use my snap tool, and make it so that it will wrap around the curtain rod so that I can put the punches inside of the pouches and not have to worry about them falling and breaking. This isn't the ideal solution. This was how I stored my punches previously and I wasn't happy with it. So this is a temporary fix. I really not sure if I can come up with a better idea. I was thinking about putting foam board behind the rods to try and lift the wall closer to the rods so that the punches aren't laying so far towards the wall. My husband said he will for sure take down the rods, maybe put up shelves, but I have a window right there in the corner and I don't want the shelves to show if you look into my front window because it is the front of my house and it does defeat the purpose of what I was trying to get away from because this was how I housed my punches before. The only difference this time is that I can see them from all of my craft room, whereas before it was hidden behind a big shelving unit. So for now I'm going to leave it. I've added these pouches to several of the shelves, along with some organizing containers that I picked up from IKEA that fit right onto the curtain rod. And I'm doing that just to make sure that the punches that can't stay situated on that rod have a place to be where they're not going to fall. And we'll see. I'm not sure if I want to take the project down, leave it as it is. I can tell you that I've already used several of the punches that have been up there that I haven't used in years. So that's a good thing, and that is kind of the goal, is to see the things that I have and start using them. I really did think that these shelves were going to work for all of my punches, but that just was not the case, and some of them did break. However, my husband, who is very handy, was able to put them back together, and I'm happy to say that all the punches are back in working order. I thank you guys so much for spending time with me in my craft room, and I didn't want to pretend like this was an easy project or that I'm so happy with how it turned out. We spent a lot of time, not really a lot of money. I think those rods were like $1.50 each doing this project, but it still didn't come out the way that I had envisioned it to come out, but that's okay. Hopefully I'll come up with another solution and I will be able to be happy with that outcome. And here I'm just showing you how I've added those pouches onto the rods using my snap. And I'm not overloading these pouches because I don't trust that those snaps would actually hold them, and I do not want anything to happen to those punches. I would love to know if any of you store your punches on curtain rods, if you have had better success, if you made adjustments to yours, and if you have another solution. I would love to know how it is that you're storing your punches. Please leave me a comment down below so I can go take a look at your video. I thank you guys so much for visiting me in my craft room. I hope you guys all have a great day. Bye guys!